Hello everybody, and welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. You already know who I am. Unfortunately, I don't like doing videos like this because it's out of the context of the game, but I've got to comment on it because Arthur Masuaku has been ruled out indefinitely. He's undergone knee surgery, and obviously there's no defined date as to when he's going to be back in this West Ham side, and it's a massive blow, particularly against Leeds United. Obviously, I identified the wing-backs as the one way that West Ham could transition so quickly, but for me, in general, I think West Ham look more comfortable defensively. We can play the low block with wing backs. Of course, we've still got Soufal in the side, but it does beg the question as to what David Moyes can do now. And obviously, people online have brought up this idea of possibly reverting to a back four. I don't like it. I've never really been comfortable with Aaron Cresswell at left back. Obviously, he's proven himself at centre back to be fantastic. I think with the back three as well, we look much more solid, more compact. We don't allow mobility in behind. We're very strong in that instance. And I guess the only sort of reason why I would ever revert to a back four is if we could put another man in midfield. Worked against Aston Villa. Now, the issue is not only is Arthur out on the changing system, but we don't have anyone directly to replace him. Obviously, you could argue that maybe Cresswell could fit into that. Again, he has got forward this season. His chance creation is fantastic from centre-back. Could he slot into that left-back position where there's less defensive responsibility for him? I wouldn't want to change it too much. Someone like Aaron Cresswell, but he's the only natural left-sided attacking defender. I think a few other choices that people have mentioned, possibly playing Ben Johnson there at left wing back again. He's a very versatile defender. He's played right back. He's played left back. He could slot in there, of course, naturally, if we did want to keep that back five. The question mark would be whether David Moyes trusts him, whether he's going to put him in against Leeds to keep that same system, or whether he feels like possibly he's a little bit inexperienced and throwing him in that role in a position that maybe doesn't suit as much as that right back position. It could be a detriment to the team. Something people mentioned as well is the idea of possibly promoting Longelo from the under-23s. I personally think this won't happen, but I think he's a natural left wing back, and we always sit here and say, and we said obviously before the start of the season, that the square pegs round holes argument, I've never been a massive fan of it. You play players in their natural positions, and of course, Longelo has looked natural there for me. He's fantastic going forward. But the same argument I have for Ben Johnson is the same argument that you have for Longelo. He's very experienced in that sense. He hasn't even played Premier League football, so I can't see that being on the cards. Again, it begs the question that if, of course, we go back to that back four, do we therefore stick with Balbuena on Ogbonna if Cresswell's going to play as a left back? Again, for me, that would have to be the preference just because of the familiarity and the amount of times they've played together. Could we possibly see somebody like Issa Diop come back into the side if Aaron Cresswell plays at left wing back? That could happen. That could happen. We tend to see Diop on that left-hand side of that when it was Ogbonna and Diop in that back four, so possibly in a back three that could work. But I think it's massively frustrating and it brings up a lot of uncertainty. And I'm sure into the man and obviously transfer window coming up. The left wing position, obviously Arthur, we brought him into the side to play there because it suits him, but we don't have anyone natural that can replace him. You look at the right-hand side, Soufal, Fredericks, that makes sense. But clearly on that left wing back position, there is a little bit of uncertainty. So listen, I don't like doing videos like this in a way because it only happens really when there's something big and something that's massively disappointing like this. Arthur's really found his form for me this season. I know in the past few games, we haven't really seen that kind of delivery from him and his ability to get forward as much, but certainly his improvement this year has been fantastic to see, and we will miss him for Leeds 100%. I've got to concede as well. I am worried a little bit if we go to a back four against Leeds, but I will save that for the watch along tomorrow, which of course you can join me for. Make sure you like and subscribe to the West Ham Way. Get in the comment section below. What do you think David Moyes should do for this system? Should he stick with a back five? Should he go with a back four? Should he play Aaron Cresswell at left wing back? Or would you like to see the likes of either Ben Johnson or someone like Longelo come in there with a more natural adaptation to that position? But let me know anyway. I will see you tomorrow and take care.